J.p.white with more SportsSpeak Sports. In this edition, we're happy to have Larry Williams with us. Hello, Larry Williams.
How you doing, JP?
Good. I want to ask you some questions. Did you play football?
Well, I played a little bit of football for Silsby. I played a little bit of defensive football. Got run over a whole bunch.
There you go. Did you play basketball?
No, just on the vacant lots around town.
How about baseball? Did you play baseball?
I didn't play baseball for Silsby, but when I was coming up, baseball was the sport that every boy played. You could roll up, if you had to, you could roll up a sock and grab a broom handle, go down to the sand lot and play. So baseball was it.
I want to ask you a question. I'm going to tell you here, canoes and Village Creek. What do you tell me about that?
Okay, well, right now, Village Creek is just recently made an efficient Texas paddle trail.
Okay.
The kiosks are up. Up until then, in fact, I didn't know that it wasn't until last year. Village Creek was about the 7th most popular paddle trail in the nation and about the 2nd most popular in Texas. The part of the creek most generally used is the part from Highway 418 down to US 96 Bridge. I don't know how many people of summer go down Village Creek right now, but we have 3 outfitters in the Silsby area that rent canoes, and they all make a living at it. So it's pretty good business.
Good. How about I asked you flatboat and the Neches River. What can you tell me about that?
Well, the Neches doesn't have the amount of traffic as a paddle trail that the creek does because there are not as many access points. And there are sections of the river, especially from Sheffield's Ferry down to about Timber Slough Road, roughly 22 miles, and that's pretty remote. There's not much access. I have a guide business where I build my own flatboats, plywood boats. I have one right now that's 6 foot wide and 16 foot long. It is a paddle boat. Has about 95 cubic feet of dry stowage. And last year I brought a trip down the river, and I had 12 people for a 6-day trip. And we had plenty of supplies. It was 6 days was about the right trip. You know, everybody was tired, but they weren't fatigued. It was time to get off the river, and they enjoyed it. But I've been doing that for several years. I grew up on that part of the river too, off and on, all my life.
What do you see when you go down besides water and the bank and trees?
Well, it depends on what your interest is, JP. Most of the people that I take are interested in the Big Thicket National Preserve movement, so they're there to see the flora and the fauna. And there's some really great cypress tupelo swamps coming down through there. The formation that the river cuts through, the strata. If you know a little bit about the geomorphology of the river, you can explain how the river cut through these formations and give people an idea of why it goes where it goes and why. And then of course there's several plants and stuff that are unique to the river. The cardinal flower is it grows along running stream beds and all, but it's really prominent along the Neches. There's a native wisteria that's prominent in areas along the river. The cypress and the tupelo swamps, there's lots of those, and every one you see is the same but different. I mean, they're great to go in.
Well, you're bound to have something so they can get on the internet and see some of this information. Do you have something like that?
Well, right now I have my website, which is just a description of the river trip and a few of the logistics. That's the NechesRiverExperience.com. is my website, and they go to that, and it'll give them an idea about the trip. Just a quick rundown.
I understood you to say NechesRiverExperience.com, and they can see some of this.
Right, the Neches River Experience.
Oh, you got to put a D in front of it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And if that doesn't get them anywhere, they can run the Neches River Experience and Float Trip, and click on their search engine, and I think mine's been being the first folder.
All right, then. Hey, I believe you know something about the Bragg Ghost then, maybe.
Oh, my, yes. Nettie Ames, who ran the Bragg Hotel, was my aunt by marriage. My mother married Mr. Lee Cartridge, her brother. So I became associated with Miss Nettie Ames in the mid-60s. And that's about the time that the Bragg Light started getting some local acclaim and drawing some attention. But now, it's an on-again, off-again thing. At times, it's a little more active than others. I've seen the light there several times over the years. And, I guess probably 35 years ago, there was a young graduate student in the area who was looking for a guide. And I took him out there, and his thesis, I believe, was human perception and human hysteria in low-level light sources, I believe, or something like that. But anyway, he was studying the lights scientifically.
He studied other lights everywhere. In other words, ghost lights, probably.
Well, yes, sir. He said that there's other areas of the country where these lights, this phenomena occur.
Yeah.
So, but he had some scientific explanations for it that was kind of beyond me. But who am I? The old tale about the brakeman,
Yes.
looking for his head. Well, that's a really good story, but the Native Americans had legends about those lights over there in those woods way before the Europeans ever came in here.
Oh, okay.
They've been there a long, long time.
Oh, I'll go right ahead. And what else in there? They've been there for a while, and what did you get from him to lead you to believe what?
Well, we do know, that goes from Bentley to Montgomery Formation there, between Bragg and Saratoga. And the Montgomery Formation is real coarse sand. And it is known that there's an ancient forest buried there, relatively shallow. And his theory was that the gases that come up through this sand and percolate through disperse into trace amounts. But as light goes through them over a long distance, it has a prismatic effect. And so it separates a single light color. When that happens, then of course it's amplified. And then when it reflects back from a single point, it's amplified, so it lights up the woods. I guess that's as good an explanation as any. But I've never been scared by them or anything. I've seen them many times, and the only time I've ever got spooked over in that area was in the daytime. I was hunting in there one time when I was young, and I don't know, I kind of got a spooky feeling there for a little bit, and then I shook it off and went on. But that's the only time I've been in that area all times of the night, off and on over the years.
Any certain kind of weather or anything would be the best time to be looking for it, you think?
Well, I don't know. I've been in all kinds of weather. Every time that I've personally seen it has been on a clear night.
Clear night?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
When there's moonlight. Now, it doesn't have to be a full moon.
Any time during the night?
Well, I suppose, I don't know. I've always seen it, say around 10 o'clock on past that toward, after midnight. But I don't know. It's just happened to be the time that I've been able to get over there. So I haven't gone over there any earlier than that, so I don't know. But those woods light up pretty well at times.
Did you ever spend any time in the Bragg Hotel? Tell me something about the Bragg Hotel.
Well, when my mother married Mr. Lee Cartridge, and we used to go to the Bragg Hotel quite a bit and visit with Miss Nettie Ames. That was a great place. She had an actual working old Victrola with the tubes, and she would play that thing. The Bragg Hotel in its day was an oasis in the desert when it come to a place to stay, like in Pineywood. It was a really nice place. But yeah, I was the last paying guest at the Bragg Hotel.
Yeah, well, tell me about that.
Well, when I came back from the war, my wife and I went over there to visit Miss Nettie, and my mother was with us. And it came time in the evening to go back. You know, my mother was going home and all. And so we, Nettie invited us to stay the night. So I asked her if I could, you know, pay, and she didn't want to. And I said, well, I would like to sign a register and pay for the night, and be able to say that I was the last paying guest at the Bragg Hotel. So I signed the register, and she charged us $7.
There you go.
For the night. For bed and breakfast. Can't beat that deal, can you?
Can't do that. About what year was that now?
That was about 1972.
About when did it quit? What happened to it? Was it destroyed or what?
Miss Nettie died, and before the children could come in and settle the estate, some local, I don't have any idea who, came in and burglarized the place and vandalized it, and set fire to it. But it got, somehow or another, they were able to save some of it. And then of course somebody came back later on and set fire to it again, was successful that time.
Yeah.
But it was a shame. That was a beautiful old place.
Yeah. Larry Williams, I certainly am happy that you came by and told us about j.p.white, SportsSpeak, where we speak sports, and Bragg Ghost watching and canoeing the river. That's sports, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is to me.
I think so.
And you can still do it at my age.
There you go.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came by. Thank you, Larry Williams. That's edition SportsSpeak brought to you by a lot of people.